Hey everybody, it's the Burger Dude, and today I want to show you how I make Swedish meatballs, but vegan of course. And if you've had these, you know how good they are, and if you haven't, well, you need to remedy that ASAP so you know what you're missing. And this is a super easy recipe too. It comes together in not too much time and it's totally worth it. So with that, let's make some Swedish meatballs. Now the first thing we're going to do is put together a vegan sour cream. You can totally use some store-bought if you like, but honestly this sour cream totally elevated the gravy. So if you can get your hands on these ingredients, I highly recommend it. And one of the ingredients you need to get is this lactic acid. It lends a very tangy, cheesy sort of flavor. To be honest, I'm not sure this vegan sour cream tastes like what you'd expect. I compared it to Kite Hill, and while the Kite Hill tasted more like traditional, I preferred the one I made. In fact, I've made Swedish meatballs several times since going vegan, and these were my favorite by far, and it's in large part due to the sour cream-esque sauce I've made. And it's very simple to put together. Once your cashews have soaked, add them to a blender, followed by half a cup of water, and then we're going to throw in our lactic acid, followed by a touch of salt, and then we're gonna blend that up like so. And after my first blend, I decided I wanted to add a bit more of the lactic acid. It's quite tangy, like I said, so you want to go easy on it at first. And then I added in some of this sodium citrate to help it get even smoother. Next, I added in some of this titanium dioxide. All it does is make it whiter. It's totally not necessary. I just felt like experimenting with it, so don't worry about it. After that, give everything a nice blend, and then it's time for the proverbial taste test. And once it's where you like it, we're gonna add it to a bowl. There you go, that's what we got. I know it seems kind of thin, but that's because it's still a little hot. Once we add it to the fridge, it'll firm up. So that's what we're gonna do, throw it in the fridge while we put together our Swedish meatballs. So these are pretty standard. We're gonna do a blend of some plant-based meat, and then we're also gonna add in 2 of these Beyond sausages. Now you can use all plant-based meat. If you don't want to use the sausages, totally fine. If you do use the sausages, don't be a ding-dong like me and forget that they have this casing around them, which you should remove. It's kind of weird, but hey, it's a sausage. So once you get the casing off, just crumble those sausages in there and then get it all mixed in with the plant-based meat. And don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Remember, it's just plants. Don't be scared. I gotta say, one of my favorite things about not eating meat is I no longer have to worry about handling raw meat and accidentally killing myself. It's a pretty cool little bonus if you ask me. So once it's all mixed up, we're gonna add in the other ingredients. So we're gonna start with a shallot that's been diced, and then also some garlic, followed by some parsley, good old flat leaf Italian parsley. Next is some Just Egg, but you can totally just use some plant milk instead, totally fine. Just make sure it's unsweetened unless you like vanilla flavored meatballs, but oof, no thanks buddy, hard pass on that one for me. Then we're just gonna add in our breadcrumbs, followed by some allspice and nutmeg, and these are 2 of the spices that set the Swedish meatballs apart from other meatballs, at least in my experience. And you can totally use fresh nutmeg, I was just being lazy here. And then we're gonna add in some smoked paprika naturally, as well as our buddy white pepper, always like when he's hanging out, and then his buddy black pepper to taste. And then lastly, we're gonna add in some salt to taste. And then all we gotta do is blend that up, and I opted for a fork this time, not because I was scared, but simply because I didn't feel like washing my hands. It was just being lazy as per usual. And now all we gotta do is roll up our meatballs. So I'm using this ball scooper or melon baller or mini ice cream scooper. I don't know, I'm using it because it's perfect for meatballs and it'll give you a consistent result. So all our balls are the same size and weight. And if you don't have something like this, you can totally just use your eyeballs, totally find an eyeball your meatballs, just do your best. And anyway, I got about 20 meatballs here weighing in at around 1 ounces each. So just roll out all your balls, and once you got them all good and ready, it's time to heat up a skillet over medium heat with a little bit of oil. And now all we gotta do is brown these up, let them hang out, don't touch them for at least 3 to 4 minutes, and then turn them around, let them cook for another 4 minutes or so until well browned. And then after that, we're gonna set them aside while we make our gravy. So this is a pretty simple gravy. We're gonna start off with a roux, so melt a 1/4 cup of vegan butter. And once that's all melted, we're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of flour, but we're gonna do so a tablespoon at a time and whisk in between each tablespoon. And once that's all whisked together, cook it for a minute or so just to get the raw edge off of that flour. And next what we're gonna do is add in 2 cups of vegan beef broth. And again, we wanna add in about a 1/2 cup at a time and whisk in between. And this is to get our gravy as smooth as possible. And now we're gonna give our gravy a little soy sauce, about 2 tablespoons. And next, let's add a tablespoon of my favorite mustard, aka Dijon. And make sure to add some extra flavor with your finger, and then give that a whisk naturally. And here's our vegan sour cream. As you can see, it's a lot thicker now that it's been in the fridge for a bit. Let's add in about a quarter cup of that stuff, and we'll whisk that in. And I gotta say, this was so freaking fantastic. Really amazing with that sour cream. And make sure to give it a taste, and then get a thumbs up from yourself. And now all that's left is we got to add our meatballs into the gravy and just cook them for a few minutes. Let them mingle in that beautiful sauce, and make sure you get every one of those meatballs totally ensconced in that gravy. And then, as nature dictates, give in and try a single solitary meatball. I mean, look at that thing. So freaking amazing and delicious. So go ahead and serve it up on some noodles, which is probably my favorite way to enjoy these. But I've also had them on mashed potatoes, which is a totally excellent choice for sure. Hit it with some more of that gravy if you like, and then maybe add some more parsley, because, you gotta eat your greens, right? And then I also like making a Swedish meatball sub, which for some reason isn't as ubiquitous as it should be. If I had my druthers, I would have added some mashed potatoes and some of that lingonberry jam, but this thing hit the spot regardless. Either way though, if you make these and eat them on their own or on some noodles, in a hoagie, you take a bath in them, whatever you like, I really hope you all make this recipe. I think you'll all dig it. And if you do, let me know how it goes. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you next week.